we're back, and it's not being insane as it was just doing there that y'all just saw. And I was I was literally mid-sentence. So, as everyone's coming back from that reset, like I was saying previously, which I'll kind of give it a second to let people come back in before I re-explain what I was just on, especially for those of you that were just in here and that are returning back, possibly. Um, but Um, yeah, but anyway, if you guys are new here, welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber or a moderator who's been here before, welcome back. Um, and all that. But I hope everybody's day's been good and all that and was good on this Monday today and all that. My day's been, like I said, my day's been pretty busy with work this morning for like 4 hours. So yeah, literally working a 4 hour shift this morning is what it was one crazy epic morning. But I'm so glad to be off for like the next day and then I'm back in swing Wednesday. And then I'm off for the rest of the week. So that's the best part, is I only work 2 days, so that's the nice part of my schedule right now, is I only work 2 days a week out of the entire week, which is awesome. Because I actually get a lot more time off. And that's good. That's good, especially for a rookie like myself, who's literally just starting out in the job field for like the first time in like 4 years of trying to wait for this day to happen. But yeah, and I mean, it's exhausting regardless. Like, I knew I was gonna be tired. Like, when I heard my first day was June 1st, aka like 3 weeks ago, when I first started, I knew I was going to be exhausted coming out, even if you think or not. And sure enough, I was. I was like, I was a little familiar to kind of how I am right now, but not like, but I was a lot more out, like a lot more out of it. And so, um, yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I mean, it's been good though, I will say that. So I'm thankful though for all that though. Um, but hang on, let me see. Okay. Yeah, I just want to be sure something wasn't glitching. Oh, wait. Thought my chat was being funny. Anyway, that's what's going on there. But, yeah. So, yeah. So, kind of where I left off a few minutes ago before I had to reset the live. So, for anyone who's new here, something about me is I am a 20-year epileptic survivor. And so, for me, I was diagnosed with epilepsy, with a medical condition called epilepsy, where it's a narrow brain disorder that causes seizures and all that. And so basically altogether of the meaning behind it is it's basically where all of the electrical nerves in the brain, so they're the ones that send all the signals and tell your brain to do stuff all 24 hours. Well, with people who are epileptics like myself, the way it works sometimes is it can malfunction. Like, let's say you're if something in your body is trying to tell the brain to do something, let's say it gets it, but it's having a long time processing of of what it's trying to have that part of your body do. So, for example, saying a certain sentence, or running, or or thinking, you know, in the brain, it takes a while for it to process to go, okay, control this, do the, all the things. Hey there, um, Gerpa, that's a cool name. Um, I could tell that you're new. And so, um, yeah, so when it does a lot of that, there's moments where it will malfunction like that and cause me to have seizures to sometimes to the point where I'm having to be hospitalized for it because of how bad it can get and all that. Um, but yeah, you're you're mentally like um, but hey there. But yeah, and so um, yeah, so a lot of the times it will cause me to have seizures, and like I said, sometimes they can get to the point where I'm having to really be hospitalized for it. But I do have like rescue medications I use. So if in cases like that, it does happen, like for example, if I were to have a seizure that's like 5 minutes or longer, I have what's called a nasal spray. So it goes in your nose like you would think it would. And there's also other rescue meds. So there's also what's called a diet stat, and that's where it's kind of like a syringe. Like, think about a medicine syringe, but a little wider than that. Kind of like, um, kind of like those way wider syringes, like of meds. Like, for example, like let's say if your pet needed a certain medication, and let's say it was by syringe like that. It's kind of like that, but it's a smidge wider. Not crazy huge, but like enough to where it could go in. And so, hey there, Mia. I can tell that you're new, so welcome. Um, but and to answer your question, it's 11:57 right now for me. Right now, my time and all that. And so, yeah, and so, and y'all, let's just say the way that worked. Let's just say let's just say you had to go down there in order for it to work. Just kind of silly, but I mean, y'all, I don't know it. Y'all, kind of the best part though is if that ever had to get needed, I would be knocked out, so I wouldn't know what's going on, honestly. So it wouldn't be that chaotic. Um, oh, that's cool. But and yeah, like back in the day, y'all, like when I was a lot younger, so like throughout my childhood, I did use that for a while until when I was almost a junior in high school, because I remembered having a seizure my sophomore year in the middle of English class. And let's just say I was probably this close. I was at least that close for my diet set almost needing to be administered into me. Almost is the key word though. But praise God I didn't have to. But praise God I didn't need it to be used at all. And like I said, the only times you use something like that is if, for my cases at least, is if it's 5 minutes or longer, or if I'm having a second. But that also goes for any rescue med based too. Is of course you don't use it unless if it's within that minute window. Like for most of mine, it's like 5 minutes, at least 2 minutes, and all that. If nothing's happening, you know. And y'all, I'll just say this for anybody with my condition, it's not the best thing in the world, but it's also not really something you would, I'll just say this for anybody, it's not something you would want to see somebody go through. But, when you have a medical condition like that, it's something that you can't really be like, oh, it gets cured. I kind of wish epilepsy did have a cure though, because then we wouldn't have to worry about seizures as often, but also some, and also sometimes in epilepsy, we also get um, side effects from our anti-seizure meds that we take. Not every single med, but at least it just depends on the medication you take, though, because at least a couple of them have side effects. So, like dizzy spells and headaches, for example. And y'all, I have started getting those a lot now with my meds for like at least a couple of years, but something about me is I don't jump to conclusions right away, you know, and that's not always the best thing to do. It's go, oh, it's this, I know what it is. Unless you know it pretty well, then you'll predict it. But for something like that, it's like, okay, let me monitor it for a bit and see if I am feeling alarmed enough to where I'm needing to go to my primary care physician and ask, hey, so I'm having side effects due to my medication. Do I need to switch my meds, or what other steps can I do just to see if it's something? Or if you're me and let's say it works seizure wise, but these side effects is what's messing you up from going forward with your day to day life and all that, with work and all that, and you don't want to feel like you're just feeling like you're letting others down, or you feel like you're letting yourself down, or you you don't want to be that one person out of everyone who tries to put up with it. Like for example, since I am finally working now, I really don't I really want to try my best to have it somewhat manageable, at least to a minimum where it's kind of helpful for me to not worry about it on the job for 4 hours. And I don't want to be the one coworker out of everyone who goes through who has to do with medical issues on the job, and just you know I just really don't. So that's just what it is there. But let me look through my chat. Todd, welcome back. I did notice that you came in here, but I was talking at that time, so that's why it took a minute to respond. Hopefully you're doing well. But yeah. Oh, thanks. Yep, he's good. You do. But yeah. Yeah, you're totally good. Yeah, Todd, I knew you were in here. Cause I can see the chat even as I'm talking too. So, um, that was my day. Um, Me to answer your question there, um, my day was good. It was also pretty exhausting too because of work and all that. Because I worked this morning for like 4 hours straight, and I am just glad to be off for tomorrow. And then I'm back in at it Wednesday, and then I am off for like the rest of the week. And so, yeah. And I mean, for us adults that hear that work, we all get it. Because, you know, when we're working, hey, I mean, the best part about working is we're getting paid at the end of the day, but at the same time, we're working just to do something with ourselves and make our world a better environment, and making and helping not just the world, but people around feel like um they matter, like for example, um yeah, I had to go to Amazon with my dad, but we stopped at Wendy's. Oh, that's cool. Nice. Yeah. And so, um, okay, that comment I'm even looking at person. Anyway, I'm gonna continue as if that comment doesn't just pop up. That's why I'll mess with them because I don't want to be the victim in this situation. Anyway, um, yeah, and so that's just what's going on there. Pull my deck up just a little bit. Let me get up. Yeah, gosh. But yeah. Anyway, um, oh, someone else came here. But I need to see what I just saw. Yeah, yeah. That's why I was like, you know what? Nope, I'm not looking at that comment because I don't mess around on here. I really don't with people. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Hang on. Oh wait, I'm seeing your name. It just took a second. You there? How you doing? But anyway, um, that's pretty crazy, y'all. That's what I'll say. Um, I mean, I can if I wanted to, but I just don't always leave that option out. I just don't, because I mean, you know, I mean, there's some people that will choose to leave it on, but I just don't, for me at least, and all that. But anyway, JT, I can tell that you're new though, so welcome, and hopefully you're doing well. And hopefully for everyone else that's coming in here too, hopefully you guys are doing well as well. I'm saying that twice. But yeah, and even that's one thing, best part with work too, is even you can even like I said, we don't work just to work, but we also get paid, but um we help everyone around make that place, that work environment a better place. Like it doesn't have to be, anything crazy or anything. Like for example, like workplaces can like for example, I work at um a thrift store near me, and best part of working in that area of jobs, like it doesn't have to be thrift store exactly, but it can be clothing store base, is hey, best part that you're making a change is by helping out and making that store feel like people can go somewhere to buy clothes and all that. And even other things too. That they might be trying to find something, but they just don't have that many options. So it's always good to make some kind of difference, whether if it's helping out, making sure that um shelves are stocked and organized and have things on them, or having fresh new rounds of clothing items that are out and ready to go and look at to make your wardrobe look awesome. You know, anywhere, y'all, for a good majority of us that work, our workplace has a lot that you can make it a better place. Whether if it's the environment around them, whether if it's making sure everything is looking nice. for people to feel welcome and come into it going, oh, I love this place. I'm going to be sure to have a friend of mine come by and check it out too. It's good because then you get more people coming in to that place and going, oh, this is awesome. I love it here. And you keep spreading, which is good because, first off, if any environment, like it doesn't have to be retail, it can be grocery stores that are good, it can be, you know, coffee shops, you name it. Yeah, like I said, it can be anywhere, even any area, you know? It's just good to make any place a good environment to feel like they're welcome there, and that should also just be our main purpose in the work field is making that place feel like a safe environment for everyone to be in, and they can feel like that they belong there, and you never know what that person's probably went through, like, hey, they can feel welcome there to get clothes there, they can get anything to like. And something that's kind of cool about thrift stores is they have all kinds of stuff from clothes to a little bit of furniture, jewelry, you name it, house decoration items, office items, and even a couple pieces of furniture, which is that's kind of impressive, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. And even parts to things like bed frames. Also hats, cowboy hats, women's clothing, men's clothing, shoes, swimsuits, purses, kids' toys, baby clothes, blankets, throw on regular blankets, comforter sets, you name it. Like, in stores like that, like, especially where I work mainly, we have all of it ready and on the shelf so that way when people walk into the store each day, they can come in to see something new every day, which is always good. But it's also but for any place, it's always good to make that place feel like a safe environment where they can go in. Like it doesn't have to be store based. It can be that they're going into like a coffee shop, they're going into a Walmart, for example, and feel like, oh, look at all the nice new items and groceries that are on the shelves ready to be collected for their needs and all that. And also, even for police departments, having a good amount of police officers in that building. So if someone's trying to be stupid and not making best decisions, they can help you. And also, if you're struggling to where you need help, they're there. Also, having doctor's offices open, pharmacies open, hospitals open, laws, you name it. Because all of them, their main purpose for their job should be is to take care of you and not make you feel like you're having to struggle. Because y'all, police officers help so much, not just for pulling you over to arresting you, but helping you when you don't know how to understand something or how to deal with a situation that maybe you're new to. With doctor's offices, is their doors will be open a good majority of the days of the week to help you if you're in pain or you don't know how to deal with anything that you've dealt with in your past. They're common, they will help you with everything. Even therapy offices of any kinds are also doors open to help you get over, not just to get over stuff, but they're there to listen to you fully and not just misthink you are saying nothing that they're like, okay, we don't care about that one step next person, you know. But any place, anywhere that we work at, we want to always be sure we're doing is we are making that place and that environment workforce a place where one person or even more can come in and feel like they're being welcomed and not feel like they're being judged. And they have the right to be there like anyone else is. And for someone who's lived for 20 years of my life, that's one of the things even I've learned in general is to feel accepted and just feel like you belong there when others are debating on that too much, you know? And so, um, yeah. Hang on, let me take my second round. Oh, hold it. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. I'll put you guys right for just a second while I take my last round of my medication. Which is important, especially for my own health. It's really important because if I don't take it, I will have a seizure anytime. So, so it's always good to be sure that that's always taken care of, regardless of what I do. Hey there, how do I say you let me being crazy? Healy, that's a cool name. Welcome. I can tell that you're new. Um, hey there. I can tell that you're new as well, unless you say your name in the comments. Cool. Maddox, I can tell that you're new. Welcome. Getting a lot of new people, which is awesome. Turkey. 10. What? 100. I'm Turkish. Oh, that's cool. Hey there. Sister, I liked it. Thank you. I very appreciate it. There. Antina, that's a cool name. So I speak Turkish. Maddox. Anyway. Yeah, you so tough. Anyway. Let's see. What's my rating in my comments? Yeah, I feel like I read your name, but like that would be Turkish cool. Um, Funk, that's a interesting name. Max, I love your content. Keep it up. Thanks, Max. I very appreciate it. Thanks. I very appreciate it, Max. Keep your positivity coming because that's what's needed. Um, not just in here, but more often. We need more people like you that remain positive and just, you know, they don't try to use their temperament or something about them to target hate in any spot whatsoever. So, definitely keep doing what you're doing because that will definitely help this channel out with a lot of positivity because I do focus on the positive side on here and not the negative side. And also, I will say this for anyone on here. I'm somebody on here who actually shows all sides of myself. Like, I don't just show the good parts of me, I show little peaks also of like when I am having a not so best day. Because y'all, there's content creators these days that just only come on when their days are seeming good and everyone thinks, how do they have such a perfect lifestyle when they don't? No one doesn't. We're not even meant to have a perfect lifestyle. At the end of the day, like y'all, I'm 20 years old and I don't have not anything close to their lifestyle whatsoever. Like, I'm just an average 21-year-old. Well, 20, I keep saying 21, excuse me. Almost 21-year-old, but 20-year-old female who is just living my life to the best I can and just getting through the day like any adult would do. And, that's just what we do is we do our best just to get through the day and all that. And we don't focus on other people and be like, oh, why couldn't we be their level of goods? When there's just, you know, and I will say this now, that because I mean it's true. A lot of us will think and go towards and go, oh, how does this content creator have such a good, perfect lifestyle when they don't? Because y'all, they're struggling too. They just choose not to show that side of them. And we really do need more people to, we definitely need more content creators that show at least parts. It doesn't have to be the full, that part of them. It can be like tiny parts of it just to show that they're human and not to mask it, because masking your actual feelings and just how you're actually doing is one thing, but actually being yourself and actually being human for once is what you're supposed to be doing. Like, for example, a lot of us go through stuff on here. Like, y'all, I go through side effects on at least every day, not every day, but like every other day, every couple days. And I feel like not always the best during those times, but you know, I just do my best to get through it. And there's days where I'm exhausted, I'm tired, and parts of me just wants to just focus towards that. When reality is, I'm trying to focus, I'm doing my hardest to try to put God in the center, at least the closest to center of that as possible. Because for any of us here that go to church here, it's important to try your hardest to have God and focus on Him in the direct center of anything you're going through. Whether if it's pain, whether if it's sickness, whether if it's anything medical you're facing in life, you know? And so, um, yeah, let me look and see what my chat's been saying too, because I've been seeing the comments too. I'm just trying to see if I've missed anyone's comment yet. Okay, I saw that. Weed, I can tell you're new. Welcome. I have Down syndrome and I live. And I live. I love your vids. Oh, thanks. I very appreciate it. Funk, same. I mean, love. Weed, I got pretty much what you were saying, which I know what you meant. Trust me. I'll tell you, trust me, you're not the only one that sometimes something can get autocorrected. That happens to me a lot myself. Like, I can just be typing or using the little mic speaker icon just to use my typing, whether it's texting a friend or what. And it will do that sometimes. So trust me, you're not the only one on here. So I get it. You know. Hmm. Thanks. Let me look through my comments. I have Down syndrome. I'm 12. Oh, that's cool. That's neat. Okay, I'm looking through everyone's chat. Yep. I love you too. Keep. Thanks. What did the elephant say? On? Jeez. What? Um, keep up everything, Brandon. I subbed. Maddox, thank you so much. My mom said I was special, and I believe her. First off, she's correct because she's saying the goods to you, is what I will tell you. Do you think that? Yeah, because let me say this, anybody, anyone is special. It's not just one person. Like, I will say this now. There's there's people out there that can make fun of people for the dumbest things. But A, it's because either they're going through something, just find ways to not think it whatsoever, or they just don't want to show it. And their own plan is to reverse themselves completely. And I don't like that people that don't do that, but they just think, oh, let's do it this way so they don't think. And they act all tough for which they're not even close to that. And, you know, or they're going through other stuff too. And, you know, and they think, oh, they're gonna be treated this way, they're gonna be the same way too. You know, they kind of act like they're better than somebody. And so, anybody in this chat is special of anything that they set their minds to, and all that. See here. Who's the best adventure? Spider-Man. What? Weed, I am so sorry that your friends do that to you. But let me say this. Don't even pay attention to them because let me just say this. If they're laughing at you because of what you have, don't listen to them. Just don't. Because they're just wasting time on the dumbest things. AK they're losing brain cells on the worst thing. And what they could be doing is actually being supportive of you and actually being kind to you and not letting you get to the best of you. Like, people, and there's people these days that just they think they can act better than everyone else when they don't. Like, I can say a few story backgrounds with me and a couple of friends I've had. Not a whole lot of people, but at least like a couple of people that I've known years prior into my teens that I've had to deal with. And even a little bit of my adulthood too. Like I've had a couple of friends who, um, like um, one of my friends, one of my friends, um, I've got a lot of friends up, but one of them though, let's just say a good few months back. It was one day particular, and my best friend, because she was also friends with um this person of mine that I knew, and I guess one day she and her were just talking like normal, and all of a sudden this girl brings up me, which is this friend I'm talking about right now. Um, and let me just say this to you guys. If let me just say this for reference. When you're friends with somebody, and just so everyone kind of gets a little reference to, this person I've been friends for like 10 years straight. And y'all, the thing is, when you're friends with somebody for that long, y'all, the saying literally goes, if you are in a 10 plus year friendship, that literally means that y'all's friendship would last a good amount. But let's just say the way this went, mm, oh, this one turned quick at one point. And so, anyway, carrying on of what I'm saying. And so I guess my friend, staying to my best friend, she, for some reason, I don't know why she wanted to start things, but she started just texting my best. After that, she was texting my best friend and just saying stuff that was not true about me and all that. So, aka, she started stirring the pot and showing her actual true side. And y'all get this for reference. She's she is only about 4 years older than I am. So for reference, she's 24, almost 25 right now. And I'm only 20 right now. So the fact that a 24-year-old woman here is literally trying to say not the best things, but also I've been friends with somebody since late, like at least late teens going into or at least the start of her 20s at least. Actually, no. I would be saying teens technically because we've been friends since like I want to say seventh grade, sixth, seventh grade. I think. I think it was seventh or eighth. So yeah, so since like teens, just crazy. AK since 2017. So yeah, that puts me at like yeah, at least that puts me 13, 14. Or yeah, 13, 14 age gap. And so, um, yeah, it's crazy. But, and then, yeah, it was crazy. And so, my best friend tells me everything that happened. And y'all, when she told me, when my best friend told me all that, I was furious. Like, I literally was about done because I'm like, wow, for one of my friends to start showing her true colors after 10 years of being friends because y'all, a person would have been showing their true colors a little later into the friendship and not that long into waiting, you know. And so it's kind of ridiculous. But I am glad I'm not friends with her because ugh, she wasn't even really, and I will say she's kind of one of those friends where she occasionally is a slight bossy, but yeah. And then another friend of mine I was friends with too, she she was that one friend where she literally would um she was the one friend that would tell me or ask me to try to do things I was uncomfortable with doing and just being very, very bossy towards me and just pushing me to trying to do stuff I was not comfortable with, or I just didn't feel like doing it because, that's me. That's my choice of it. And she would call me when I didn't want to be calling at that moment, you know, and not really respecting my own personal space there. And but yeah, I mean, it's crazy, y'all. So trust me, for anyone going through anything, trust me. I've went through something a lot similar with people not being the best towards me either. So, um, yeah, so some of this I'm saying, trust me, I've been a little bit in your shoes, but um, with a whole lot of different things. But just a lot of it can relate to some of what you're saying to me. But, um, yeah. And just, yeah, y'all, and honestly, I don't know why there's still, I honestly don't know why there's still people that are still being rude to others when they don't know the person's background that well either. You know, it's ridiculous for them just to start doing stuff, you know? So, um, let me look through my comment section just to see what I've read. And so, let me just see where I'm at so I don't be left off. Hang on. Hang on. Where the Okay, guys, this is where I think I left off, I think. Um, Kilbor, that's a cool name. Welcome. I can tell that you're new. Um, huh, wow. Yeah, just a little bit. Just so it's easier to match up. Okay, I'm getting cops at chat. Anywho, let's see what I'm getting. Anyway. Okay, I think. Let's see. Okay, hey there. How does it Gail, to answer your one question I'm reading, everyone knows it's 4. I'll just say it as an adult. Directly it's 4. Anyway, Nico, that's a cool name. Welcome. I can tell that you're new. Hopefully, you're doing good. And all that. I'm doing pretty good. I'm just looking through the comment section, just hanging out. And all that. And feel free to ask anything down below. And also, for anyone who has not done this yet, but if you have to listen to me on this, if anyone hasn't already, feel free to like and subscribe. But these really go for people who haven't done it. But if you have, don't listen to me. Just don't. Just keep doing what you're doing. And all that. And be sure to hit the notification bell down below and set it to all notifications so you get all updates on here from when I post and all that stuff. But yeah. Oh, that's a good question. My favorite animal, oh gosh. My favorite animal is either a donkey or a cow. Because they're just really cute. Or a dog. Because I have like 2 of them. I did have 3, but unfortunately, one of them did pass away this year, which is sad. But it's because of old age. And plus, he was just starting to turn pretty quick. But yeah. And so, yeah. Yeah, they're so cute. Especially because, like, I'll tell you, they're really cute because of their ears. Like, their ears and their face is so cute. And them too. Like, the donkey itself is really cute. And there's history behind donkeys too. So that's also pretty cool too. Because we all know, for us Christians here, we all know that Jesus came into Jerusalem on a donkey, and that's how the cross on a donkey is formed, which we all learn that in school directly and knew that as an adult. And even donkeys are just really good animals. Like, let me see. Donkeys aren't just normal animals. Like, they're really cool to be around because they can sense, um, they can sense when you're like feeling, like they can sense your feelings pretty well. So if you're kind of off, they will sense it. Or if you're depressed, they will see it. Or if they can see how much you feel, but also they're like horses where they can sense a lot too with you. And they're also really good animals because they're also really good, like, therapeutic animals just to be pet and loved on. And the best part too is donkeys can also remember people. So let's say for example, if we had like friends of ours over or new people that were just around in the area, and just I shall say it in general, but if somebody were just to see a donkey and go and just loving it, and let's say they come back after a while, that donkey's gonna remember that person. It's also the same thing in horses too, because the horse or the donkey, which is both, um, sees that person, they'll remember that person even years ahead, which I think is interesting. It's kind of interesting how science works though, with animals and just how they adapt and all that kind of stuff. And donkeys are pretty good animals with like certain with other animals too. Like I know for a fact they do pretty well with cows and help and protect their herd. So if any creeps are around, like coyotes or anything, they can protect that area of where they are. It's actually and also it's really interesting is it's kind of interesting that science also not just does animals in certain ways, but even how their instincts work too. Like, let's say if they're in like a group of like cows or something, or any other animal that they do good around, they help pretty well go through all that and be sure that it's kind of like a security guard, kind of go around being sure that we're clear, you know? And there's amazing animals like that. And yeah, but they're just really cute to be. And then with dogs, they're really cute too cuz again, they can also sense also feelings, but also they don't hurt you as much. I mean, some will, but not crazy. But also dogs can really help you during tough times. You know, like they help you get through your hardest pain and just the season you're going through and all that. Um, but um, and even certain dog breeds do really well with kids as well, and all that too. Um, and then cows are cute too by like their face, like they're just really cute faces, and they're also cute when they're a lot younger too. It's cute just to see them grow and kind of see what they look like a little bit. And it's also really cool when a cow also has a calf and you just kind of get to see how cute they turn out and all that. It's like, oh my gosh, look how cute the little calf is in the corner, you know? Y'all, animals are just amazing. Like, animals aren't just creatures that just do stuff and are meant to do what they're supposed to. Some of them are kind of cute to where you can't even take 5 seconds just to be like, oh my gosh, why are they this cute? And all that. And actually, you know what? I will show you guys a pic of my dog I was just bringing up a few minutes ago that sadly passed away this year. Just so you guys kind of can see what he looked like as well, which it's kind of hard to process all of it, but y'all, grief is one of those things. What if it's animals or humans? It's hard to process grief in any way, any shape or form. Let me get a good pic of him because there's so many I've got of him. I'm just getting a good pic so you guys can get. Actually, there's a pic I think up here I've got of him. That is a cute one. I have him, but I'm just trying to find it. Or, yeah, I might need to go up because I might have passed it, I think. I think I did. 'Cause I think it's up here somewhere. Let me just find it. Let's see. I think it's almost there. Right here. Okay, this is where. So, in this photo, so for anyone that wants to know a little bit of information, so this was one of my dogs that I had, aka his name was Maverick. So the normal spelling of the name Maverick, which is Maverick, Maverick. And for some backstory, he was about 13 or 12. I think he was about he might have been about 12, 13 years old when he passed away because of old age. And y'all, I'll just say this. With Maverick, y'all, this dog's passing was more than just that. But this dog was more than you think he was. Like, y'all, this dog was my childhood dog. Like, this dog lived throughout my childhood. So from the moment I was like 7, 8 years old, all the way up till I was 20, so AKA all the way through now. Thinking, or honestly, thinking about it, he might have been 13, 14, actually. He might have been actually 13, 14, I think, at this point when he passed, which is pretty crazy to think. And so this dog, yeah, so this dog literally lived for like he was literally my childhood dog for the 13 years of my life that I've lived. Like, basically, he's been a part of my life for 13 years. So, 13 years from childhood to now. So, he was with me from my younger kid years all the way into my teens and even all the way through I graduated high school, which was about 2 years ago, and even all the way through the start of my adulthood. Like, y'all, I'll say this, y'all. A week before he passed, my parents did notice he was starting to decline kind of rapidly, but thankfully he did really well though after a few days and came home and then they were like, bring him back on Monday, which was at the time January 12th. This was January 12th. And y'all, little did I know. I still try. It's hard to think about it, honestly. Um, but little did I know that January 12th, that Monday, which was a Monday, I had no idea that day was going to be the day that he left. Like, I really did not think that January 12th of 2026 would be the year that his life would go to an end. And so at 20 years old, I had to. I mean, the night before his passing, I didn't think he was gonna pass the next day. I really didn't. Even though he seems like he was not in a too bad condition, but just he was in pain, but just, it was hard for all of us. Even it still is kind of hard sometimes, and all that. But, you know, grief like this is normal. it's normal to experience grief, especially for a pet. And, you know, especially for a dog that has meant a lot to me. And he's like the most meaningful dog like I've had. Like some background too. He was the kind of dog where he would just be chill back and for anybody that met him, whether it was family, friends, my boyfriend, um, neighbors, my parents, my mom or my dad's friends, or anybody that saw him knew how such an amazing dog he was. And um knowing that just for me knowing that just knowing that January 12th of this year had to be the day that he left me. And all that was really tough. And um even like I said, my boyfriend met him, neighbors met my grandparents, everybody that he was loved by all loved him. And he was just so good with everybody. And he was like the most chillest dog too. Like he didn't really get into any trouble. He wasn't the type of dog that would be rotten, meaning just crazy. He and also he was the type of dog that would even he wouldn't be scared of the storms or anything like rain, thunder. Unlike one of my dogs, actually both my dogs now, um, they're just like some of the dogs that are crazy, but that's normal. But yeah, it was really hard to wake up that that morning and know that he was gone. And um thankfully I do have something that I can look at, but also I can wear if I wanted to. So if I ever want to just wear it, or if I just want to look at it and just remember him by it, I can. Which I have a necklace that they actually put his urn inside of, so I can still have my childhood dog still with me, even on days that it's tough. And for anyone that wants to know what breed of dog he was a Shih Tzu as well. And yeah, it was really difficult, y'all, to believe that he was gone that day. Like I because honestly, I was not expecting to walk out of this but out of my bedroom door and hear my and hear my dad tell me the news right there in the living room. And yo, the last time I had to experience a death of either a pet or just a person was the last time I had to experience death of somebody was at 16 years old, and that was with my grandparents on my dad's side. And oh boy, oh, I will just say, those that are new to me. Um, so actually, I will give you guys that backstory because y'all are new to me for a good half of y'all. So, so at first, I mean, I was 16 and 17 technically, so technically 16 and 17. But so to start off first, I was 16. So on not March. It keeps saying March, it's April. On April 21st of 20 of 2022. It was at this point the next half of like the beginning of 2022. We came out we came out to this one little like cabin little house, kind of Airbnb, but not quite Airbnb. Um just for a getaway for a good few days, just to get away from the chaos of just life and all that for a good few days. And um and for reference, my Nana on my dad's side had dementia, and my dad and I went and saw her before um we went on vacation just to see her, but also just to see how she was doing, like we would do. And y'all, little did I know, little did I know the next day was gonna be different for me. And so on that day, we didn't find out this news till like late in the day, but I find out like almost, I think the day after, I think, I think it was like the day after or even that evening. I found out, but I think it might have been the next day after that I found out. Um, and um, so, so kind of what the backstory was I don't know what I was doing exactly, but my dad was like, because what we did was we borrowed one of our neighbors' golf carts at the time um, because we're the little house areas in our neighborhood where I live and all that. And so, one of the neighbors would let us borrow their golf cart because we didn't have one at the time. We didn't have the money at the time to afford one yet. And so, um, yeah, and then, um, yeah. Anna, I also do see that you're new here, so welcome as well. Um, and for anyone else that's also just coming in here as well, that is new to me, welcome as well. Um, and so yeah, so on April 21st um of that year of 2022, for reference, I was a sophomore in high school. For reference, by the way. And I think we were all either waking up or we were up, but we were just not doing much. And my dad was like, "Hey, you want to ride around? You want to go on the golf cart for a little bit?" I was like, "Yeah." And so he drove me around, and there's this one little tree spot. Just pause for a second, and I will not forget when me and my dad pulled over this one spot, this little tree, little cool spot area, and just kind of took that in. My dad, well, I'll say this, y'all. My dad had to tell me the news that I didn't think I was gonna have to hear right away, or even anyone would want to hear. And apparently, that on April 21st of that year, my Nana unfortunately passed away from her last stages of dementia. And y'all, y'all, the saddest part about that was I was not there to, even though I saw it the day before, I did not think that the next day I was gonna be grieving everything in me. I really wasn't. And so, yeah, so unfortunately, um, so unfortunately, she ended up passing away at the age of almost being, I think she was at 73 or no, she was 72 still at the time, but she was, but yeah, she ended up passing at almost 72 years old. And y'all, it was hard. Honestly, it was really hard on me because knowing that I was a sophomore in high school, but also I was a 16-year-old girl at that time and all that, and y'all, and knowing that 16-year-old me 4 years ago had to hear that was tough. It was difficult because knowing she didn't physically she didn't get to see me graduate high school and all that was tough on me. It was really hard, but and then fast forward about 5, 6-ish months later on September 24th of that same year, but this was the beginning of my junior year of high school. And we were once again back in the same location, same place for a little mini getaway. And my dad, either on the first day or a couple days into our little getaway, was try to get a hold of my papa and check in to see how he's doing and all that. And he never answered his phone, never answered calls either. And it kind of was getting to that point where he should be getting concerned. And so later that night, so um at some point in the night, like in the beginning of the night, he decided to drive 2 hours back. Um well, he actually got a hold of one of his old work friends because he used to be a cop back in the day for his job. And so he called one of his police friends that he knew that was still working and asked him if he would go over to his apartment and check on him and do a welfare check just to see if he's okay or not. Because, you know, especially for someone who knows that they pick up their phones and answer a lot, and then the one time they don't, sometimes you never know what just happened. So little do we know, I think my dad also decided to drive out as well and check up on him too. Um, so they both went, so he and his friend went and um checked to see if he was okay and see how he's doing. And I was asleep about a lot of this for at least most of it, but he didn't get back till like sometime in the middle of the night. And so, um, and then little do I know, the next morning I woke up like any other day, got ready, did the things, and little did I know, my dad and I were at this time we were standing on the back porch of this little building and just getting some fresh air, and all of a sudden lets my dad and I have the same conversation again, but and just letting me know that my papa unfortunately passed that night in his own apartment. And again, eh, here's what's crazy, y'all. Both of those passings happened it had to happen when we were out here on vacation and not when we were there. And I was a junior this time. I was still I was still the same age, aka I was still 16, but I was only like 6-ish days from being 17 to when I found out that it was this time. And I was a grade older than I was when I first found out. And knowing I had to go through this and knowing I was going through it again and just encountering the same emotions. It was difficult, y'all. Like, it was hard. Like, I went upstairs because this place had an upstairs and downstairs, and bedrooms were upstairs at the time, but I think also we're starting to slowly become a third at the bottom. So I literally went upstairs to the room that I stayed in and cried for that bit because y'all, that was a lot for me to process. And then again, knowing that he also didn't get to see me graduate as well, like I thought, and even we thought might happen. It was hard, but yeah, yo, losing a family member of any kind, whether that's a grandparent, aunt, uncle, your mom or dad, a sibling, or anybody like that is hard because you sometimes expect it at the worst times, but also not in the times you think it would. And again, and the difference was that um I mean, I'm thankful that a good half of the people that I met were very supportive during that time and all that. But and then I remembered when I think it was I need to look back and see. It might have been a, the couple year anniversary of my nana's passing, and it was actually on a day where um me and my boyfriend were out here. It was actually the same day that he actually had to head back home, but that morning before he left, he and I were fishing and for fun and all that. And even I just kind of remember that it just being difficult, like it would be for me. And even I've told him of their story too, and just what's happened as well. So he kind of also kind of can see where I was coming from. And then, y'all, I will say this: when this year when it was the 4-year anniversary of her passing, it was hard. Again, it's gonna be hard. Grief never is easy to get over. And so, um, yeah. And so when I told him I was just it was hitting me a couple weeks before it was approaching, and I told him, and he was very, very supportive of me and just, you know, oh, I'll have to, I need to hear it. I will, you know what, here in a second, I can pull up on my iPad of what, because one thing he messaged me and said, because he messaged me like a medium-sized paragraph and just letting me know all of the good and supportive things, um, and just helping me out really it kind of helped me a little bit, but also it really made me want to cry because of what he said. Um, and y'all, this is why there's still good. There are still good partners out there, even if y'all think there aren't. Because even even if you're dating somebody who's amazing, they will they are y'all you should have a partner who understands you and that they're there for you during your lowest points in life, whether if it's going through a loss of somebody or getting over a loss or going through the trauma again in your head, then just reliving that moment of when it happened. So for me, knowing that I was literally having that trauma flashback, thinking to 16-year-old me reacting to all of this and just, you know, trying to, you know, and it's not easy. It really, it really is not easy to, um, get over something like that, you know? So, um, hang on, let me pull up, um, let me pull this up just so that way you guys can, hang on, y'all. Let me pull, let me, let me pull up the screenshot so that way I can read it to you guys of what he says so you guys can get, that way you guys can just hear of what he said on this day. And for reference, you guys, this was about 2 weeks or so, like 2 or 3 weeks the day, before the actual day of that anniversary was approaching. And he said this was from like April 7th. And I told him everything that was happening and all that. And he said this. I might be crying on some of this, but basically he said this though. That honestly sounds really heavy, and I hate that you had to feel all of that at once. It makes sense though. Grief can hit like that out of nowhere. I'm really glad you told me, and I'm here for you, though, through the next couple weeks, okay? Y'all, right there. Right there, that's proof. That that full paragraph right there. That's proof that that's what a supportive partner should look like. But also, that just goes to show that's a partner who knows how to help you through tough times. And that, I swear, I was tearing up when reading it myself. And I was telling him everything myself. Um, um, like I was telling him everything that was going on. And so, um, and you know what, I'll read what I told him, like of what was going on before that text as well. Um, but hey there, Cooper. I could tell that you're new, and yeah, I'm having a good night. How about you? Hopefully your day's going well for you. But what I told him though, y'all, was last night, last night I was a total mess. Like I started crying a lot last night because at first me and Asia were well we were talking about well me and a friend were talking about something else, but it was not what is but anyway, a little bit past that, um I'm trying to go toward it. Hang on. Let's see. And then after this I said, um, I was completely fine and then and then try to see where is that I can but it was basically because me and one of my friends were because she was showing me something that made me cry over a celebrity, which is the first time I ever did. But it was um it was more of like a recent one from like a year ago. And so um but yeah, when I saw it through Instagram, I was completely fine, and then on TikTok, so different for me. I don't know why. And then after that, this is when I got into it more. And then after that, I was just a complete, I was just a complete wreck. Like, I started crying, but also it started to make me think about my Nana's passing and knowing that it will be the 4 year anniversary of her passing hit me, in which it's gonna be kind of hard these next couple weeks just to realize that like right now I'm fine at the moment, but last night was something for me. But it's gonna be kind of hard on me the next couple weeks as that approaches, which is on the 21st, which was April 21st. Will be the 4 year anniversary, and I think even just and I think was even was and I think was what's even crazier what's even try about it was crazier of what hit me harder, which was knowing that 16-year-old me had to hear the words that no one wants to hear at that age, and now I'm 20 and still feel like that. But grief is something you learn to live with because of grief, because grief doesn't go away. You just learn to manage around it. But yeah, it was really hard. Like, I was crying a lot. I was crying like crazy last night because of it. At the moment, I'm fine right now, but it was really hard for me. But, and then I said, like, I was a sophomore and had to hear that, which was really hard for me. And it still is pretty hard of this day as an adult. Cause, um, cause yeah, y'all, like, but yeah, cause I mean, y'all, on that day, it was still pretty hard for me to hear it all. Um, but yeah, it was still like really difficult because y'all, I was 16 when I had to hear all that. And no, like I said, nobody wants to ever go through the emotions of anyone like that, which none of us don't. Not even I don't want to, but there's points in life that sometimes you just are gonna have to are just gonna have to go through that just to live it, you know? Like, um, like next thing I know, sometime in the next couple of years or so, I'm gonna have to live it again with my last, um, with my grandparents on my mom's side. But, um, hopefully that's not for like at least not another. Hopefully that's not for at least a few more years because I am not ready to lose them next. Because I already had the chaos from all that. And, yeah. And so, anyway, let me. Okay. But, but yeah, yeah. So it was really hard, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, one bit. And so, yeah, 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 yeah. It was really hard because, and I will say this though, y'all, knowing that 16-year-old me plus 17-year-old me both within it was the same year, but just the well, actually, no, I will be saying, well, I would be saying almost 17-year-old me had to, but really though, knowing that 16-year-old me had to experience that was hard. Like, y'all, it's hard enough to go through passing of anyone as it is, but when it's somebody that you really had a good connection to and all that, it's hard just to go through the emotions and all that. And no one doesn't ever, you don't always get prepared to fear the worst of that day. And just, yeah, like I said, it was kind of traumatic for me knowing that as a sophomore and then as a junior in high school, I had to go through that. But then knowing that this year, back in January, I had to go through kind of the same thing, but with my dog. Um, but knowing I had to go through the same thing with my childhood dog, um, Maverick, who passed from old age, it was hard. And the thing is, y'all, with that dog's been like he's been a part of my life since I was 7 or 8 years old, and he's lived all the way up to the start of my 20s. And y'all, that's one thing when you've had a pet since childhood, that's one thing. But when it knowing that it survived up to that point, that's when it really hits you hard and just, but, um, yeah. So, but yeah, it's difficult. So, um, yeah. Um, anyway, that's just what's going on there, though, y'all. But we're just hanging on for a bit. Let me see. Let me look through the chat too, because I need to see what y'all been saying too. Um, yeah, Cobra was really hard. Who else in my chat? Rabbit, I can tell you're new. Would I rather have a I don't even know. Yeah. But yeah, it was really hard. And so, um, yeah. Anyway, yeah, it was a lot. But, yeah. Anyway, though, yeah, I'm probably gonna go ahead and get off live because I've been on here for a good hour. But um, I will next come on here on Wednesday. So I'll see you guys then.